Okay, so back again, just time patching this up still. You can go outside these lines. This is not a coloring book, as long as you don't go into the next shell. The thing about metal is nice is, it does have artifacts in it. It does have um, weird, it could be, metal is just so odd sometimes. It's just because of all the specularity involved within metal. So it's mainly the noise we're looking for here for metal. It's not, it doesn't have to be as perfect as the wood pattern, because the wood pattern, you can definitely see something going wrong with the wood pattern. With metal, because of the marred surface and shadowing and everything else, you're not going to see that as much. By leaving this edge alone and this edge alone, you'll see that it might merge quite well. There might be some touch-up involved, but you're probably not going to see them. So that's a good thing. So the stuff in the middle I fix up. The stuff on the ends I kind of leave alone. Alright, so there we go. Got this. And here's my shells. Just making sure that this metal doesn't cross over to the wood. Also making sure that I got close enough to the very edge of that metal. Well, now here's the great thing about what I just did is maybe I need the example of the non-mirrored. Well, check this out. Rather than reinventing the wheel, I'm just going to go over here to the non-mirrored UVs. Double click them and hit OK to unlock them. That way I can duplicate layer to the mirrored UVs. I know this is going to be kind of hectic to kind of look at, but rather than texturizing it twice, this seems like the best way. And you're going to find out that there's only a few things I need to change. Well, probably only one thing I need to change, really. And that is the fact that this metal surface right here needs to be duplicated once. So let's do that. The barrel lids are fine. Holding Alt on the keyboard allows me to duplicate that. Move it over. And then take and trim off the surface where it goes into the UVs. So I just did a marquee select and kind of trimmed that up. You're also going to see that this metal texture is a little bit bigger on this set because the shells are smaller. So to compensate for that, I might take the whole thing and just kind of go like this. So a little bit of scaling just to keep it all lined up. Again, with the metal texture, you can kind of keep it scaled and non-uniformed, again, because of the marring that's involved on the surface of the metal. So scaling it non-uniformly is fine with metal or noise ratio, but the wood pattern, that's going to be different. That's a different story altogether. Okay, I'm going to layer merge down those and just trim it up a little bit because I see that it's intersecting here. Sometimes it's better to keep some of the UVs off, just like that, and just like this. Okay, so there we go. We have two different variations of textures. That I should have duplicated. Oops. Not a problem. Just duplicate this layer. And just reverse what I did. There we go. There we go. So you can see the metal texture right here is almost wasted in the fact that we got it on the surface, but I didn't even use the space. So here's the the mirrored. Here is the mirrored. Again, just make sure it doesn't clash, and just make sure that it all intersects well. And just by turning off a few layers, I got both textures now. Alright, so we're going to export these out, and I'll try to keep this in a fashion that you can now catch up to understand what I just did, because some might be confused with that whole thing. Okay, so if I turn this layer on, and if I turn this layer on, this is my mirrored UV layout. So I'm going to save that as mirrored COL. I'm going to use no alpha channels and no layer information. Save that out. If I use the other one, I just simply turn this top layer off, and this is my non-mirrored. Again, alpha channels and layers should not be in there. I want to keep that compression as none. I think it was on LZW before. Shouldn't hurt anything, but I don't like using a compression for the first time. Okay, so what we're going to have to do now is drag these into Maya, and meet me back in the next video where we can kind of look at it to see what's going on.